wait,
out.
is Searing Emberblade Olympia's like official weapon?
Did I miss something? Is that not Fi's?
I'm a dingus. I was thinking, I saw Searing Emberblade under Cosmo, and I was thinking about whatever the other sword is.
I was like, Searing
Freaking,
Emberblade ain't new, my guy. My guy.
freaking, what is it called? Hot Streak. That's what it's called. Never mind.
Is it?
I don't know. I just saw
Oh, I
it
thought
was
you were on the website.
I was not. But where's Living Legends?
No, so I have the weapon. So Enigma is Cosmo Scroll of Ancestral Tapestry. New is
Yeah.
Beckoning Mistblade, and Zen is Tiger Taming Kakara. No thoughts on that
So,
one. I'm recording, by the way.
oh no, you're good.
We started. This is Battleworn
No,
podcast number 5. I'm AJ. This is Ryan.
hello. No,
Coming
yeah, I
at
was
you
gonna say I
live.
was just looking at the list. So, well, actually, let's get the official intro started, right? And then we can go from there.
Yeah, sure. What's going on, everyone? This is AJ from Adventure Company Gaming. This is the Battleworn podcast number 5. Number 5. Not double digits yet, but we're getting there.
Oh yeah, we're on our way. Hello, this is Brian with Adventure Company Gaming, saying hello for another podcast.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get into it. So, what's on the docket today? It's going to be a little bit of us vibing out to some weapon reveals. We don't have the actual weapons, but we do have the names, and we get to speculate everyone's favorite. So,
Our favorite part of pre-spoiler season, or even during spoiler season,
yeah, I'm super excited for Zen, especially after we've gotten the name of the weapon. Sounds really fun. I like how they're
Yeah,
doing the spoilers now. They said like tale of whatever, and it's like the city that has the next big event that they're going to release the spoilers in. So that's pretty fun.
yeah, we got a few cities that have a bunch of big spoilers. One of the things that we were speculating about is that big sets of spoilers are probably just like either another set of like attacks, like the blue. What were they? What would you call the droplets and the surge? The
The
kind of like
water
cycle of
line,
those.
I guess. I don't
The
know.
water line, yeah, or possibly our common set of equipment for this set, mostly used in the sealed formats for draft and sealed.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Actually, I like I said in the last podcast, I think these might actually find a way in depending on how the heroes play in the next set. I actually think the 3 cost one and the 0 cost one are like your most likely to be played. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I think they might
Yeah, and I
actually be
mean,
good.
yeah, I could see the argument after you brought that up last time, but
I mean, there were just some
nah.
nutty 2 card hands that people were showing off on Twitter, and I
Yeah,
think
well,
that's pretty cool.
considering you can play the all of the what's it called, transcend cards at instant speed, and then get them to transform so you can immediately activate your hero ability. Yeah, I could see that being a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does suck that they only block for 2 though, which is always a pain in the ass.
And they don't have go again. I mean, there's that too. So one of
Yeah.
the things that you do if you play the one of the water cards and you activate your chi card and transcend it back to your hand, and then like you end your turn, and let's say you obviously can't arsenal that card, right? You can like chi is basically gems at that point. You don't want to arsenal them.
Yeah.
But if you uh, have another card that you can arsenal, then I mean that's fine. It's like keeping a blue in your hand. You just have to your opponent will know that you have a chi card in hand. It's like kind of
Yeah,
similar
although
to
if
that.
you really want to, you can activate at least like
You can activate
Enigma.
Enigma. Yeah.
Yeah, Enigma's ability at least is useful in that it just creates a spectral shield, so that's always useful to have.
Yeah, and it's not
Um,
limited like Prism is, right? So both Prism and New Prism, for that matter. I mean, New Prism doesn't make a spectral shield, but essentially she flips over an angel into a 4 ward spectral shield. So, uh,
mhm.
but you're limited to like Soul, and that's like a finite resource, whereas like Chi is kind of unlimited, right? Because you never spend it. Like the
Yep.
only thing getting out of your hand is like a discard effect.
Yeah, essentially.
So yeah, I don't know. Just like it's a fun mind game. So your opponent's like, oh, now I know you have like a super bobble in your hand, but you can't block with it. So
Yeah, I think Enigma has the Enigma has like the most forgiveness, I guess you could say, for keeping it in hand, because activating it during your opponent's turn is still a thing.
hmm
And then Spectral Shields, even if it's only a one block, I mean that's still better than a zero block technically.
yeah, you turn
So,
your chi into a one block. What's wrong with that?
hmm
That's actually pretty good.
yeah,
That's a
no,
good way to put it.
that's it's the best you could say when you have no other choice, or you want to get that one ping of damage blocked for, I guess you could say those breakpoints that we always talk about for on hit effects.
What do you think Cosmo Scroll of Ancestral Tapestry is gonna do, Ryan? This is Enigma's weapon.
So, in line with her ability, where it says your first spectral shield attack is one less per turn, it's obviously going to give them the spectral shields the ability to attack, kind of like the Iris Reality. Um,
You think it's gonna be all auras or just spectral shields?
I think it's going to be auras with
Yeah.
Ward, kind of like we were seeing with some of the other effects, or with her what was it called, the lunar chakra ability or lunar art ability, says that all of your things with ward get +1, which doesn't make sense unless you can attack with them. So
You think it's just gonna be that? Like it's just gonna be the ward ones, not just all illusionist auras you control. So like I guess uh
no, I think it's going to be with the ones with ward this time. I think that's going to kind of be
so no
excuse me,
shimmers?
the
No shimmers?
shimmers. Oh,
Shimmers.
shimmers of silver. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. No, shimmers might just be relegated to being a passive aura on the field that they have to destroy separately.
I don't know,
And I
man.
think that's the reason why I think that is because Spectra is kind of a tricky thing to work with. If they can use the Spectra things as weapons as well that require a whole attack to get rid of, I think that's kind of what they're trying to avoid this time after, I guess you could say, the experience some heroes have, especially Guardians. Not that I have any sympathy for Guardians, but that Guardians have in terms of removing Spectra in a timely manner, or in, I guess you could say, not so much of a backbreaking way. Um, so I think it is going to be just things with ward on them, so that in case you let an attack go through, all your weapons are gone essentially that you'd have to work with.
My
So you
only
kind of have to
pushback on that,
balance that.
my only
Hmm.
pushback on that is that I don't know, I feel like the judge packs have always kind of leaned towards like something that's gonna be. Wasn't there something in a judge pack where it like I don't know, I thought it like leaned towards something. I can't remember. But there was a Shimmers of Silver cold foil. I don't know. And Shimmers definitely isn't played in Prism. So I don't know, man.
Well, Shimmer's effect is still relevant on your spectral shields. Is the first time you attack with a what does it say on Shimmers? It's like the first time you attack with a illusionist aura each turn, you put a +1 counter on it. So you still do that, but you just don't get to use the Shimmers itself as a weapon.
Yeah,
That's all.
I think it's weirdly illusionist weapon. Why do I remember it that way?
I think that's what it is that it says illusionist weapon, because so far all illusionist weapons
We're both
have
right.
been spectral shields or auras.
We're both right. It's whenever you attack with an illusionist or a weapon.
Oh, yeah. If we're going to be very, very specific, yeah, that counts.
Put a +1
And
counter on it, and it just keeps it. So to your point, it kind of reminds me of. By the way, not a Market Watch channel. Regular Shimmers of Silver is $10. So it's kind of wild.
really,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's been spiking because I think people think it's going to be good in Enigma, which it very well could be. But I was going to say, it reminds me of like playing the blue auras in New Prism, where
hmm
you didn't get to swing them like you used to. Any of
hmm
the auras, right? You didn't get to swing them like you used to with old Luminaris, which I definitely miss. There's been like turn one plays where I play yellow aura, and I miss swinging it for one, then playing the blue aura. But that's what I was gonna say with Shimmers of Silver, or it kind of reminds me of that, where the effect is still good, definitely, and it if the opponent wants to get rid of it, Spectre is not the easiest thing to interact with. But
exactly. And that's why I think they're trying to avoid it being both a weapon and the obstacle with Spectra on it.
you say that,
That's just
I'm
me.
gonna say. I will bet money they'll let you swing shimmers. My only thing is it just has to be different than Iris, right? And it has to be different than Luminaris, right? It can't be the joke that everyone used to say where it's just blue Minaris, right? Where it's just like they just care if you have blue
Yeah.
and then it does the
So
same thing. So
hang on. On the in the eyes of which angel? Which angel's your favorite? The eyes of our Lord and Savior.
oh, what's her name? It's the rebirth angel, Avalon.
There you go. In the eyes of our Lord and Savior Avalon. You bet you wager one booster pack to see if you're right. See if we could swing with Shimmers of Silver.
Yeah, air shake on that Ryan.
Excellent. I look forward to getting that booster pack.
Oh, dude, they're gonna let you swing with shimmers. It's gonna be auras. You control our weapons somehow. I bet you. Bet you money.
Nah. Now here's the second question. So we can swing with them, but how much does it cost? Does it
Oh,
have go again? And how much is it swinging for?
so that's all a great question that I don't have the answer to because I'm not clairvoyant. However, if I had to guess, I think it's gonna be something wonky. I don't think it's gonna be a straight up like Luminaris type effect where you get to just swing them. Like they don't just become weapons. I think you're gonna have. I just Enigma seems like such a hero that they're gonna have to do things that just they haven't done before, and maybe something just. I guess where I'm going with this is like so. Apparently, uh, Brian Gottlieb was on a podcast, and he was saying that Enigma. He was talking about the card rating that they have. So they have like a star difficulty rating on the in the Blitz
Hmm?
decks that they come out with,
Yeah.
and Enigma's the first 5-star difficulty that they put out in terms of not her power level, but getting her to do what you want her to do. Uh,
Oh.
so so I'm
I
like, I
mean, I
don't think the weapon is gonna be very. I think it like her play pattern and her weapon are probably gonna just be not like overly complicated, but not straightforward. Not like Luminaris, where it's just like if you have a yellow, they all go again. Like,
no.
yeah,
So the one thing we can safely say is that because of her hero ability discounting the first attack, I think it's safe to say that the attacks are going to have at least one cost. You
right.
know what I
Otherwise, that makes no
suspect?
sense.
Yeah. You know what I suspect? Here's my guess, and I could be completely wrong, of course, but we're just having some fun speculating. I suspect that the attack cost is going to be one attack cost for go again and one base attack. That's my guess. So your first attack is free that you get swing one or however much the first weapon has, with +1 counters if it has any, and then each additional attack with those is going to cost at least one. Possibly only if you have like a blue in your what's it called, pitch zone. So
Right.
it's not the same where everything that you play gets go again, but at least like the aura attacks get go again.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see that. It's hard for me to say because I just think it's gonna be something so. It's not like my prediction when we get to Zen, what his weapon does. I just think that,
Yeah, we've
like,
got a few predictions, but that's like I said, we know it has to at least have a cost, but
yeah,
which we can safely
yeah,
say.
absolutely. It has to have a cost, otherwise there's no point to
Yeah,
Enigma's first ability, right?
unless she's meant to play with the Iris Reality or the old ones.
They wouldn't give her a signature weapon if that was the case, my guy.
No, yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that it's definitely going to be at least one. And I feel like having base one attack, or even maybe base zero, like you have to give them +1 counters before they can start doing damage. I feel like that'd be a little too tall because if they have ward, then they could just be destroyed pretty easily.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, maybe 0 or 1 if there's an easier way to give them +1 besides just her hero ability, and then I think go again is fine on them if they have that low a cost and they each at least cost one. That way, it's not like it's not like the Luminaris effect where once you pitch a yellow, you could just swing your tons of spectral shields for like a Kadachi each. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be something different, I bet. And assuming it's the weapon in the background of her art, like the scroll in the background of her art is the weapon, it's gotta be insane, right? It's gotta just be cool. It's gonna be something cool about it.
It's gonna be something like that. And you know what else I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to possible new artwork for Spectral Shields, just to match the theme of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how in the mech set, Bright Lights, we got a new look for the Quicken token, where it was the guys working on some sort of like in some sort of workshop on some sort of metal, instead of the old ninja with the gust of wind around him like we've always had. So
I have this really
I've
strong feeling that the Marvel that they're
mhm.
getting, the one that's Japanese exclusive, is a Spectral Shield. I just have this feeling. Ooh, ooh.
That would be nice. Actually, that'd be bad because there's no way I'm getting my hands on one of those.
You never know, dude. We might get some Japanese product over here. Start cracking it open.
That or we'll just have to pray that one of the vendors at the next events we go to have them on hand, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to get our hands on. You know what I mean?
Probably not an arm and a leg, just a kidney. You got two. It's fine.
That's true. I can part with at least one.
So, Beckoning Mistblade is News Weapon. What do you think that does,
So
Ryan? What do you think that does?
I'm sure it has piercing like all assassin weapons at the very least.
What if it doesn't? What if it's not even a dagger? What if it's a, I don't know, not a dagger. It's a short sword or
I
something.
mean, I think I mentioned this in the last podcast we did last week. I think I mentioned that I suspect it's like those hair things that she has, so it's kind of like a concealed weapon that like is part of her outfit, but then also acts as a pretty effective dagger. Um, that's my guess. But yeah, I suspect it still has piercing at the very least. That seems to be a pretty common element of all assassin daggers that we've seen so far. Even the Graven Call has the -1 or has the piercing ability.
I pulled up her art again. She doesn't really have those in her hair. She has like a snake crown thing.
Doesn't she?
She does have like, oh, actually she does. In the very far back, she has like two that go horizontal. I think that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and since the fan she's holding, everyone's pointed out is basically the ornate Tessin that we already know of. It's probably not that,
I don't think it is the
but it would
ornate
be cool.
Tessin. It's just a fan. I don't think it's
It,
the same fan.
well, no, it has the same color pattern on it. I think
No, it doesn't. No,
it
it
doesn't.
doesn't at all. The ornate Tessin is like gold and bronze, and this thing's like pink and flowery.
Oh, well, never mind me then. I don't know what I was thinking of.
I mean, other than it's a fan, like a hand fan, like that's the only real similarity.
I'm okay with being wrong on that.
I mean, it's
I'm
not
not.
it's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal. So I was going to say, when it comes to what's it called, the blade itself, what do you think its effect is going to be? Considering we kind of already have a dagger for every kind of like card you can block with already, right?
So
Except for block cards.
I don't think it's that because that would be horrible unless this set has a bunch of block cards in it and then it's really good in draft or something.
Yeah.
What I think it is, what I think it is. Really, I don't know all the effects. I'm going to say you pay 2, attack, 1 damage. If it hits, you get the Fang Strike or whatever it's called token in your
Ooh,
hand.
that's right.
That's my guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense with her character right now if it had to do something with, the two tokens we haven't seen yet, the Slither and or Fang Strike.
Yeah, I don't think you get both,
No,
but
not both.
but
That'd
I
be a little
yeah,
too powerful.
but I think you get like I don't think you get Slither either, just because the name like Beckoning Mistblade. I don't know. I think you would get the what is it, Fang Strike? Is that what it's called?
Yes, Fang Strike. What are you talking about? You aren't gonna beckoning doesn't go along with like slithering into those
Just gonna be
DMs, mate.
slithering around. Just slithering
Slithering,
around.
slither into those DMs, mate.
Just slithering my homies.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, it's Fang Strike and Slither in your hand.
mm-hmm.
So we shall see.
Depending on what those do, that's pretty strong. Although all it takes is a 2 block even to fully block it, so it's not that crazy.
No.
That could be it. That could be it. Um, But yeah, because I don't think it actually. Now that you mention it, for the sake of like the sealed formats,
Mm-hmm.
or limited formats, I keep calling it sealed. I don't think it makes sense for them to have the minus effect like they did in Outsiders, um, because the pool of like ways that people can even block is probably going to be so much more different than. Oh, you know what it might be? I wonder if it's just that damage from the dagger can't be prevented, like from a spectral shield or something.
That's kind of wild because then if you have like a lot of spectral shields, right, they just all go if you don't
Yeah,
block, of course.
if you don't block, yeah. I assume, or I'm just gonna throw out a guess that we probably won't have that many reactions in limited for the set, but I could be wrong.
We
But that's
already
just another
have
guess I'm throwing around.
we already have Big Blue Sky and Wide Blue Yonder.
Oh, that's right.
But your point, I
Mm,
think we will any. I mean, Assassin is already kind of proved to be reaction based, so I
yeah.
think they're. I mean, actually, they actually have another attack reaction too, the Tide Chakra.
hmm Oh,
So
that's right. We already got that one.
so so
Well,
yeah.
it's just a guess, like I said, of possible effects. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting for sure. I mean, the weapons are actually my favorite part, almost more than the heroes themselves.
Well, because it's such an because it's almost like you can't separate them in most cases. Like warriors, you can play different styles of warriors, like Axis warriors or Centauri blades or Dawn blade for Dorinthia.
Hmm.
But like for most other classes, like their weapons are pretty closely tied to the hero's like play style, which makes it feel good to play them. So yeah, I definitely like them, except for Banksy, of course. Can't give Max like a non-limited format feeling balanced kind of weapon.
No, absolutely not.
Ah,
So finally, the
big sad.
Zen one. The Zen one. So that is called Tiger
Tiger
Taming
taming
Kakara.
Kakara.
Kakara. Uh, so someone actually posted like I've seen this floating around like what this thing is. So like a kakara, it's really not a weapon in the past is kind of what I've seen. It's kind of more ornamental,
Yeah, it's more like a meditation staff that has like those decorative rings on them.
which is kind of what he has in the background. Looks like a big
Yeah,
bonking stick.
I mean every stick's a bonking stick if you're in range.
That's what I'm saying. People are like it's not a weapon. I'm like I'm looking at Zen's picture. He can be bonking some people with that stick. You know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna say you call it a weapon or not. I think if he hits you on the head with it, it's gonna hurt.
I mean, just
At least do one.
look how buff Zen is, bro. That
Bro,
guy hits the gym.
dude. He's a tiger. He's a tiger trained.
I want to know more about
He
the like emblem bulletproof vest he has on. He's ready to go fight. Ready to go fight in metrics with all the mechs. Take some shots on the
I
chest.
believe in him. He's got the tiger army behind him.
Well,
But
behind him in his picture, he's got birds. So he's got some
I'm
birds.
sure the birds would. I'm sure the birds would follow him too.
I want to know what
He's
kind of
just.
birds those are. They're like geese.
But you know what's kind of funny? This is the same Zen that's on the Zen state token, where you take one less damage from all
Is it?
sources for 2 turns. Yeah,
He's. Hold on.
Zen state, baby.
I don't
I think
believe
so.
you. There's no way
I
to
would
know that. It's just some dude. It's so far away, you can't tell at all. And there is flavor text on the Zen State token, or on Find Center. It
Oh
says,
yeah, I'm talking about the Zen state token though. Or
oh,
Zen
right.
state.
I was looking at Find Center. Let's see, Zen State. Oh, that does look like him a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what they did with Victor,
Mm-hmm.
where there's like a that all you got. It's supposed to be Victor, and it's kind of not the same thing at all. But I could see this being like an early depiction of Zen.
Yeah. No, you can't see it on Find Center. He's a whoever that is standing on the tree, I guess. Is definitely too far away to tell.
Well, they also have hair.
Uh, yeah, that too, or a hat, but whichever. But no, I think it suits him. He's very zen. He's meditating. He's keeping out all the bad chakras out of his mind.
Well, I guess his young art has hair too, but actually his young art also has the birds. This dude likes birds more than
Mm.
tigers. He's a fake fan of tigers.
He doesn't even use real tigers. They're just jade tigers.
Anyway, so his weapon, I think it's gonna actually be the most basic out of all three of them. I think it's literally gonna be like a two attack weapon that also gives your tigers +1 or something. Something really easy.
So I've got two theories. It's like, yes, part of it could be on hit, your next tiger attack gets +1, or if you've played a tiger, or kind of like how Fi's weapon only gets go again if you've played a draconic card ahead of it. Maybe his staff only gets go again if you've played a tiger ahead of it.
It could also be like on hit create a tiger, kind of like news weapon,
Mm-hmm.
which could be really cool. Kind of force out that block because giving them an extra chain link can kind of be scary, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if it's the same turn where they play Art of War, their Transcend card, or the what was it called? Roar of the Tiger, where they create the extra one and all tigers get +1. It's just like uh, what's a pack of tigers called? I guess a pack of Kodachis coming
I
at
don't
you.
know. What is a group of tigers called? Let's look that up.
That's a good question.
I feel like it's gonna be one of those things where I just like it's gonna be like, why are they called that? Oh,
It's called.
actually, that's kind of
Oh,
cool. They're called an
what is it?
ambush of tigers.
Oh, which is funny because isn't something ambush or ambush the name of the card from the Ira deck that creates a
Why?
tiger?
Yes, it is. It's the block card, and it says when you block with this, I think create a spectral tiger in your banish zone or something.
And you can play it next turn, yeah.
Yep. And the keyword ambush means well, it's just the first card with ambush, and it happens to make a spectral tiger, but it says uh, you may block with this from your arsenal, and that's what ambush does.
So it's almost like a reaction, but it's block speed.
It's give and take. No, not give and take. Down and dirty.
Yes, there you go.
It's just down and dirty. So it
But
was
you could
down and
say it's
dirty before they decided to give down and dirty a keyword.
that actually makes sense. Yeah, all they needed to do was print if they had the keyword for ambush on that. That's all you'd have to print on it for future cards as well.
I
Kind
would
of
bet.
funny.
I would bet if there's any future printings of that card in the future, it'll just say ambush, kind of like how Spectral Shields got a non-functional errata to just say Ward 1.
Yep.
Because
No, I believe
they
it.
did that. Spectral Shields used to just say the reminder text essentially. Like they used to just say like the next time you would take 1 damage, prevent 1 of the damage and destroy Spectral Shield.
Yeah. No, I believe it.
Yeah, so that's the weapons.
Yeah.
What else is going on
And
this
like I
week?
said,
Oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say before, real quick before we jump off, I was like, we've only kind of speculated a little bit on Zen State, but it has to do something with the Tigers, no matter what.
I mean, it's
Like,
called a tiger taming kakara.
exact.
I like saying
Yeah.
that word.
I just like that we're getting more consistent Tiger cards because it was fun kind of building a Benji Blitz deck for Tigers where you're kind of relying on getting the what the heck was the first card that created like just three crouching tigers, the
Oh, predatory streak.
predatory streak, yeah, and then hoping you get that and one of the buff cards at the same time before you can go off. It's kind of cool that the tigers can just be kind of like more of a mainstream or more consistent combo line that you can use now. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, that's the hard part about the Tigers right now is that there's no reliable way to search this crap to actually like get your stuff off. When it goes off, it's really fun, but
Mm-hmm.
it's tough lining it up. Just
Yeah.
not a lot of stuff going on with that.
Nope.
But probably gonna change a lot in this set. Probably gonna be all Tiger related, all Tigers all the time. Hope you like Tigers if you're gonna play Zen.
I think they're pretty cool. So he's definitely a second pick for me after Enigma in terms of the heroes that I'd like to try out from the set. So looking forward to seeing what they give him.
I'm just really curious if like we get a new Crouching Tiger art slash Marvel.
Token? Hmm.
Yeah, just because I don't know if they'll want to do that. Like, does it hurt Dynasty and like the idea of like what a Marvel is and technically it was cold foil, and you're not supposed to reprint cold foils, even if it's a different art. Is that truly reprinted?
Um, that's
You know what
hard
I'm
to
trying to
say. It
say?
would
Like,
be
yeah,
no, I know what you're trying to say. It'd be nice. I think the artwork, the original artwork for just like the token generic one is fine. That one's already a good artwork in my opinion. But whether or not they give us like another version or a different version of a Marvel of it, I don't know. I feel like we're already getting a ton of Marvels this set, to be honest.
I mean,
We already
we're
have.
getting one of each G card, and we're getting two for each hero for their young and their old. I'm assuming Enigma has. I mean, the big speculation because of all the hinting they're dropping is that Enigma has a demi hero, and if that's the case, that's probably a Marvel.
And then they've also got the all the Transcend cards have Marvels
Yeah,
that
that's
we've
why I
been
said
talking
all the
about.
cheat
So,
cards. Sorry, yeah, all the cheat
oh,
cards.
that's what you
Yeah,
meant. Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've got enough Marvels this set to hold us
I
over.
think there's
It'd be
18,
nice.
according to
That's
the product page.
that's a lot, and not including if they make a Marvel version of the Fabled, for all we know. Although they haven't done that before, so I don't think so.
I mean, it's depending on how you view Command and Conquer. I don't know. It kind of looks
Oh
like Command
wait,
and
that's
Conquer.
right.
It's not a
Yeah,
Marvel,
they.
but it is a Fable. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a Fabled with the Marvel treatment.
Yeah. So according to the set distribution, we have one Fabled, six Legendaries, 43 Majestics, 54 Rares, 123 Commons, 12 tokens, and 18 Marvels. So
That's pretty good.
cold foil is 1 per 24 packs, which seems lower actually. I think that was 1 in 20 packs not so long
Mm.
ago. So like every
I
now
was,
and again you would get two, but I could be mistaken.
no,
But
I've definitely gotten two before in a box, so that's
well,
definitely
this is odd.
possible.
So you still even at 1 in 20, even at 1 in 50, you could have a small chance of getting two. But I just feel like they were 1 in 20. I don't know. I could be wrong. Could definitely be wrong. Anyway, 1 in 24. One pack. Rainbow foils are one per pack. Rare higher two per pack. One rare plus one rare majestic. You know what they haven't gone back to? I guess
Hmm.
they didn't like this experiment. Was the do you remember in Outsiders that you could have one rare slash three rare packs?
Yes, because the dual slot.
No, no, no. It
Um.
wasn't even that. It was
Oh.
like we wanted to introduce. Like I think Brian again. I hope he said this because I don't want to put words in his mouth. But I'm pretty sure there was a thing where he was saying like they wanted more variants in the packs, but like overall, when you like do the set distribution, you kind of get the same amount of rares. But
Oh, I see.
opening your pack, you wanted to, especially for draft, it made it like less formulaic. Like oh, like I'm gonna get a rare, I'm gonna get a rare plus, I'm gonna get X Y Z, and then this made it like I just don't think they've done that since Outsiders, so it's just
I
interesting.
don't think they have either. They definitely didn't do it in bright lights or heavy hitters. You always got the two rares per pack, or a rare plus, and then maybe even a third with the foil. So
And then, yeah, token expansion slot. The expansion slot may include content that expands any class or talent. What a.
yeah.
You can hate bright lights as much as you want. The one thing that set did was the expansion slot is one of the coolest, most interesting aspects of sealed flesh and blood.
Hmm.
Hmm.
The what's it called? Speaking of expansion slot, we have a few cards revealed already for the expansion slot of this set, don't we?
We do. We didn't really talk about them, but we can. I think they're one is interesting. One is probably a trap, but I would want to make it work if I was a Victor main. So we can go over them real quick. I do have those available to me in just a second. So yeah, so the
Visit the
first one,
Gold Main Estate.
visit the Gold Main Estate. So that is a Victor specialization. It's a one cost blue, and it blocks for three, non-attack action, which is pretty good for certain
Hmm.
situations. But it says create a gold, and then if you control three or more gold, create that many might tokens. Go again. The funny thing is, first thing I'm gonna say, Ryan, you know what I've heard this card called?
Mm.
We have cast bones at home.
except for the one thing in that, hey, this is Go Again, where Cast Bones doesn't, and when
No, of
Victor
course.
makes it gold, he draws a card
He
to
draws the
replace it.
card. Yeah, yeah, of course. This replaces itself. It does cost one, so off a tunic counter, it'll be really good. But and it
No,
good, good.
this card is I can see why they excluded this from heavy hitters, so because getting this as a majestic in any of your packs, like for draft or sealed, like you're guaranteed to play Victor because the value you get from this one card feels like it's just too much to pass up on. This is the really strong specialization for him in my opinion.
If you want to build around this card, you're gonna need way more gold generation than the current Victor lists are already playing, though. I mean, the most I've ever seen is like 3 out, including the shield. It just doesn't happen very often. So,
Well, so I'm saying even just for its first effect, making a
just
gold
make it
and
gold.
having Go Again, you replace the card immediately and you still have the chance to attack, and then you have the gold ready to use his ability to win clashes when you want to.
Yeah, and
I think
if you
it's
pitch 2 blues, you're threatening pummel. Still,
yeah,
right? You still have 2 floating if you're playing like a 3 cost attack or something.
mm-hmm. Or even just a hammer swing, yeah. So I think that card is strong enough just for that effect alone. There isn't a whole lot of just gold generation on its own. The only other one is starting stake, and that one requires you to have no gold currently, and it ends your turn because that's your action point for the turn. So
Yeah.
I think it's strong. I don't know how often you're gonna get the might token effect, but even without it, I think just making the gold with Go Again and replacing itself with Victor's ability is insane.
Do you think there's any world where they start playing wage gold?
No,
I mean, it's a universal card. It becomes a guardian card. There's synergy
I
there.
I know, and I mean technically you could do Terra Sunder onto it then, which is really funny.
That's insane.
Uh, yeah. Um, as for whether or not they start playing it, I don't know. I don't think so. I think Guardians are too or clutch their 3 blocks and above too tightly to put in a 7 cost or a 7 attack that has a 2 block on it.
Oh, is wage
That's
gold a
just
two
me.
block?
Yep.
I didn't remember that. I don't know. Maybe. I could see a world. You build around this card, you get 4 or 5 gold. Don't forget, the shield counts as a gold too, so you already start with 1.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Because visit the gold main estate doesn't say if you have 3 or more gold tokens, right? It just says
Right.
gold.
Just gold, because they recognize, I'm sure when they design the card, they recognize that the shield should count.
Yep. That shield is pretty good.
This counts as a gold.
um, but yeah, no, I think it's a very strong card, and I think I mean it's obvious to me why they had to exclude it from heavy hitters itself, even if they were to put it in like the expansion slot, I guess, just because
Yeah.
it's hard to determine if it's expansion slot if it actually works for the characters in the set, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And to your point, it's another great thing the expansion slot has done. Has exactly this, where maybe in the draft set, there's like a
mhm.
certain effect that, like, man, if we put this in here, and it's a bomb, it's too much of a bomb. It makes it like super unfair and super one-sided. That could be the case.
Mhm.
I don't think Goldmane Estate is really on that line, to be fair. Uh, but maybe there's cards in the future that could definitely be that way. Visit the Golden Anvil, the next card, might actually be one of them because maybe in draft, actually, this card might be really stupid. Like, because you
Yeah.
keep equipping equipment.
You could literally. So this is the Olympia specialization where we finally have a payoff for gold that they hinted at before. Essentially, crack X amount of gold and recover that many weapons and or equipment from your inventory and equip them to Olympia.
Yep,
So that's pretty insane.
yep, and it blocks 3. It's a
And
blue, cost 0, like you said. Does not have go again, like the other ones. Something to note.
which I think is fair in this case. Because imagine you just keep blocking with temper equipment to keep destroying it or get the most block value out of it, and then get to re-equip it, basically gaining that much health, and then going again on that same turn. That's pretty insane.
I think the
I
reason this
th-
doesn't have go again, I think the reason this doesn't have go again is because we're gonna get a weapon that's like agile windup, like the thing from agile windup that you can like
Ooh.
throw at people, and like if it had go again, you could like throw it somehow
Oh
go
yeah.
again, and then like equip something else and throw it again or something like
That's actually kind of. I didn't think about that. We already have what's it called? the dagger card. What was
Like
it
flick
called? The
knives is one.
flick knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, flick knives is already something where you can throw daggers. So why not something that or a weapon that can be used to deal damage in a different way or break itself if it does something. Parry blade is the only one that currently breaks itself when you use it to block a weapon attack. So, um,
Or
but hmm?
one that I haven't heard talked about yet is
I think I know where you're
Talishar.
going. True, you get a sword that has a four hit rates and only two costs to attack, and then you get to
Just
replace it
put that
after every
on.
time. Oh my
I
gosh!
just
I
want the
wonder if there's
sword.
I
Good, good.
I was gonna say, I wonder if there's any world in which the rates in which Talishar hits as a 4 damage sword somehow makes it worth playing with this card for Olympia.
I just want the sword from John Swords, my guy. I want the one that Olympia's pulling off his back, and he.
That
It's
one is super
the
cool.
crazy thing is, I realized after I've been like saying like LSS, where's my sword? Where's my sword? I want this sword, and I realized that it's one-handed, or at least it is for Olympia, because he's pulling it out of his back, but he also has a shield on the other hand. So like,
Hmm.
I was expecting that to be like a giant two-handed like MMORPG sword. That's like what I wanted, which is big old stupid killed dragons with it.
Yeah,
But no. Or maybe just Olympia's that guy and he can equip a two-handed weapon in one hand. So
kind of like Reinar swinging his romping club around, even though it says two-handed.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So
But
there
yeah, I'm
this
really
is probably like one of the most interesting cards that I've seen before. Again, more inventory. I like this is random. A side note.
yeah.
I really like the theming of calling your sideboard your inventory, kind of like how Magic calls your deck your library. I just think that was
Hmm.
really, really good. Really good job.
Yeah.
Good job, LSS.
I agree. I agree. And I like how we finally have a payoff for all the gold that Olympia's been creating. Because, like, before you only had mostly the same stuff that you could do with other characters. Like, maybe you got Cash In or Knick Knack Brick a Brack. Or just using its effect to pitch two, draw one. Um, but this feels like a more impactful way. You get to play with his helmet, for example. You get to play with 3 copies of his helmet, for example, and be able to use all of them in the same game. It's pretty good. It's
I
pretty
think
good.
my only thing. Okay, I'm gonna say two things. One, I think the flavor immaculate. You know, you're in the arena, you win a bunch of matches, you get a bunch of gold, but all your crap breaks, and so you need new ones for the next fight in the arena, and that's why you're visiting the Golden Anvil. Like,
All your garbage breaks.
uh,
You gotta go fix your garbage.
but that said, I do hope this isn't the only gold payoff in the future for Olympia. I mean, it's just a weird thing to build around, and I don't know how good it is. Someone probably better than me will probably figure it out, but I don't know. I kind of was
I
hoping
think
for something more flashy. It is interesting. We'll not take that away,
yes.
but
I will give it to you too. It would have been nice. I was kind of expecting something more flashy. But I could see where the strengths are in this card. Being able to, like I said, use equipment that has temper or use one-time effects, like even refraction bolters, and being able to re-equip those can be very strong. So it's almost like you have a pseudo Valiant Dynamo every time you play it. You just get to re-equip one block boot.
and its value is very interesting, like its value proposition, right? Because it's not one piece of equipment or one sword. It's as ever many as you can equip and have gold for. So if you have 3 busted slots and maybe even a weapon slot, and you have 4 gold, I mean, this can become a lot of value off of one card. So
Yeah, or a shield, for example. Like we
yeah.
already have the one shield, so you can use that,
Oh,
which is
warriors
pretty
have
cool.
a shield, right?
Yeah,
Another
that's what I'm saying.
a good one.
Yeah, it's what was it called again? I'm on the warrior page here. Bastion of Unity.
Of
When this
Unity.
defend, I know I was about to say that for some reason, but yeah, when it defends with a card from hand, it gets +1. So it's a feasible. It's effectively a 2 block shield, so long as you use it with another card both times. Um,
I mean, that's a lot of block value for. I mean, you could honestly, like, if you know you're going against Rhinar, KO, even Levia, you can have a Bastion of Unity that you're saving for the Blood Rush Bellow turns, and then once they're done with it, you equip. Like if they get through 2 Blood Rush Bellows and you think you're safe from the third, or maybe even you just try to make it through all 3 with a bunch of blocking, and then you turn the table, you flip the script, and then you're like, all right, now that your Blood Rush Bellows are gone, I blocked them out. I'm gonna equip a second weapon and start going ham. I don't know, could be something.
Yeah, you can even use Parry Blade as the other thing if you want to have extreme block available.
Stupid claw, block with nothing.
No, I like the potential for you playing around with your inventory or armor and weapon possibilities to see what you can do during certain matchups, or even just getting the value from the card on its own. Um, but I will say for both of these, I am certainly most excited for Shiana's possibilities to be able to use these in the future.
Oh, shut up.
Hey, you know what she can do? After she blocks with Victor's shield once, she can break it as a gold and then re-equip another one from her inventory. Because does the Olympia card say gold tokens or gold?
Gold.
They thought ahead. They're giving Shiana more.
Okay.
I love it. Oh, and she can re-equip Talishar now. That's the best.
Oh, she actually can. That's a good one. That's really
Shiana is no
funny.
longer limited by the limitations of her weak weapon.
Start swinging Talishar in
Oh my
UPF,
god.
and then just randomly re-equip it. It's that meme of Mo and Barney where he throws him out of the bar.
And then it reappears behind him. It's the perfect excuse to have Crown of Dominion. 1 gold for 1 Talishar. Oh
You
my
can
god,
really
I'm
up the
so.
ante too. It's so dumb.
It is. You can. Oh my god, that card is already pretty cool. So yeah, being able to use it for this too, it's insane. Uh,
Oh
for
man.
fun at least.
All right. I think the last thing we can talk about, maybe for like just a few minutes or so. ProQuest Week 1 happened. I think that's
ProQuest has
interesting.
already happened. I thought it was just the Battle Hard this weekend.
No, this was ProQuest Week 1, my guy.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
damn!
we
I've been
actually
following.
have. So this is gonna be your live reaction to the results, I guess, because uh, we do have the results from Week 1. So
Stats.
yeah, so I'll just break it down. So Classic Constructed wins in ProQuest Week 1. Draw My Ash Artist, number 1, 20 wins. Super gone. Bye.
Yeah, there
Want
she
Build That. She won't be.
goes.
Guess what? I can already tell you. Spoiler alert. She's going to get 0 in Week 2. She better, because she's technically living. Well, not technically. She is Living Legend. So, that said, KO, number 2, 15. Dorinthia Iron Song, 12 at number 3. Prism, Awakener of Soul, and Victor Goldmane tied at 4th and 5th for 10. Azalea Ace in the Hole, 9. Katsu the Wanderer, 7. Kasai of the Golden Sand, 4. Kano, 3. And then the rest of the heroes down there at the bottom at 13, split between Bravo, Levia, Max, Reinar, Bolton, Dash, Azuri, and Viserai.
Oh, cool. Max got a win.
He got
Be
a win.
interested to be interested to see that deck, but I kind of already know what it's probably built as, just using the construct. So no surprises there, probably.
What do you think this? How much do you think this changes in week 2 because of the giant glaring hole that is the Dromai meta?
So it's funny because matchups where she was very strong against can kind of see a comeback in the meta now. So here's kind of like going into what I'm planning on bringing back, just to take a break from Mech for a bit after trying Max for, I think it was like 2 months where I just kept bringing different versions of Max to our armories. I want to go back to Riptide, and now that Dromai is gone, I think Riptide has a very strong argument to come back into this whole meta. He still has a tough time against Guardian because his traps don't really give him much extra value against them most of the time, except for hammer swings. Um, or unless you happen to catch them on one of their few go again attacks, for example. And they usually don't have a trouble like blocking him out. But I think other heroes like KO especially, even Prism, like there's a strong argument that Riptide has some advantages against them or can play well into them going forward.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a really good point. I don't know how much Riptide will really, in particular, will shoot at the meta. And my biggest reason I say that is really just because I don't know who's gonna pick up the deck. Like in terms of like, it's really hard for me to like say like someone's gonna pick that. Yeah, but it's really hard for me to say like it's gonna get like super gain in popularity. Um,
Oh, absolutely not. But I'm saying it is technically an example of a guy, one of the heroes, a guy, uh, one of the heroes who
so
struggled against
dude,
Dromai, that now no longer has to worry about her being such a meta threat to, kind of like hamper him.
how does he
I
do into Prism? Because I really do feel like a lot of the Dromais are gonna find refuge in Prism until Enigma comes out.
Well, so the funny thing is that his traps, like Tar Pit Trap, the first time you use it, it'll deal a point of damage on their first go again attack and make it so that their heralds don't get their on hit. So that's pretty good, even if you're not popping it. So you can even let the one leak through on the 7 hits, and then you don't have to worry about the on hit going through. So that's a pretty nice advantage,
That's
even
fair.
against yeah. Also for the uh, his collapsing trap, it'll obviously trigger on every one of their first attacks, so you can just discard their hand if they don't just immediately play a ton of instants,
I
you know?
think a lot of his, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure at least his hero ability doesn't trigger on angels. Pretty sure.
That's a good question. Here, I'll look him up real quick. Heroes, Riptide.
Yeah, whenever you play a card from hand, you may blah blah blah. Whenever a trap you control triggers, deal 1 damage to the attacking hero.
Oh, so that part. Yeah. I thought you were talking about like his other thing for some reason. No. Yeah. So it wouldn't trigger on the heroes, but the herald or angels, but the heralds.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and because you're playing the one, unless you pitch a blue card intentionally, then it's always going to have go again. But I mean, if you don't give it go again, then good for me, I guess. So the other trap's not as useful since you don't really play any reactions or buff the attack too often of your other attacks on a regular basis. But the go again traps will definitely give them some advantage. And then you've also got other cards like Murkmire Grapner that can't that cannot have his damage prevented. So if they find a way to get over your defenses somehow, it could just immediately pop all your angels into a shield. So something to look out for. He doesn't get to
Yeah.
dominate something still like Azalea does, which has always been kind of his greatest weakness, especially against Guardians, for example, to kind
Hmm.
of close out the game. But I think without Dromai being an obstacle or something he needs to worry about building around, he can at least kind of free up his inventory to go against those matchups a little more easily. So I'm excited to play around with him and see what I can do.
I think Murkmire Grapnel will be the next big tech arrow that sees play. I really do, just because of its interaction with angels and spectral shields and stuff like that. I think they're gonna start playing this card.
Yeah, even Azalea might, because it's just like Azalea dominate Murkmire Gartner for when it's already buffed by something. Plus, it buffs itself if it has an aim counter. Could be a thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. But
but
yeah,
that's
I don't
just
know.
me. Do you think?
If I had to like guess how much the meta is gonna change in the next week, I'm gonna be honest. I'll be completely real with you. I don't think it changes a whole lot. I think you just see the numbers of the other heroes go up. I don't think Dromai's really gatekeeping a lot of this. I mean, she probably has a good matchup into Dorinthia, but even that, like the axe build, if you're good at it, that was teched to beat Dromai. So maybe that
Hmm.
changes a little bit. Prism Awakener Soul, you actually, so funny enough, I found out recently, and I've tested
Hmm.
it. Well, not tested it, I've played it in like armories and stuff. Dromai, I mean, it's classic 90-90. Like, we both think we're 90% favored into each other. Suddenly became super free as Prism. Uh, so you're guaranteed all your, like, your heralds are guaranteed almost all the
Oh
time.
yeah. So you can always go into Soul.
Yeah, well, the bigger thing is, especially Erudition. So you trigger Erudition, draw two. and card goes into soul, just like you said. It helps you set up the ALS lock really fast, like way
Oh,
faster
okay.
than like you normally could. And you can like ALS loop people like on turn 3 or 4 if you find it. So
Oh, wow.
especially if they're not like being like cautious with putting out dragons. And a lot of it comes down to just how fast can they build a board and kind of make you have to block and stuff. But you can really get them down unless they're playing some kind of action point manipulation like time snap or uh, time skippers. You really kind of have a decent Dromai matchup. Honestly, it's kind of funny how that works out, and I bet you that's why you see 10 Prism wins. Is that it's not free for Dromai anymore.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that's interesting.
but other than
But
that,
doesn't that
like,
mean that
go
Prism
ahead.
might see less play now because she doesn't have that meta matchup to really give her the win anymore?
Well, if we're just
Do you
looking,
think she?
well, if we're just looking at the rest of the meta of like KO, yes, that's terrible. It's always gonna be terrible. I hate skin
Yeah,
withers. I don't think they should be banned. I'm not with that Twitter discourse about. It's a bad card for me in the meta when I want to play Prism because I play Prism.
yeah.
But that said, uh, so what you're saying is basically like against the rest. So against KO, horrible. Dorinthia, free.
Yeah.
uh, Victor, I would say it's Prism favored, but it's probably like a 60-40. Like it's pretty
Mm,
close to 50-50.
okay.
Uh, Azalea, free. Katsu, difficult, but not too bad. You're gonna get a lot of work out of your boots. Blocking that second Kadachi. And they might just high roll you. I mean, you do start at 32 and you run a lot of no blocks, but you're gonna go in the
That's
hell as you
true.
plan. So,
Yeah.
um, Kasai, pretty free, typically. Again, you can outvalue these value decks pretty easily. You have these like insane go off turns where you just, and it's
Yeah.
almost
So
worse
long as
than
you.
dragons because again, we're playing with the most unfair keyword in the world, which is Spectra. So,
Yeah.
eh. And then Kano,
Okay.
actual buy for Prism.
I mean, true. Once you have the angels just sitting by ready, that's like a block 4 on those at least, which
No,
is
yeah, it's very
basically their entire starting combo.
it's very difficult for them. Your Halo also has Spell Void too. Um,
Yep.
you can run like AB2 almost no problem. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult for them. And to your point, you can flip Angels at instant speed and stop wildfires very easily.
Yeah. That's kind of like their biggest damage output against you, so yeah. And they're the only class that starts off with less health than you.
Yeah. It's the one matchup where I get to say I'm actually winning at the beginning.
No scar for a scar turn 1 for you.
No. I remember playing like when we were doing a lot more blitz and playing like the original KO who starts at what like 18 or 19.
19, yeah.
And I was just thinking it's really funny that my scars were live turn 1. Just like wahoo.
Yeah. Should have played him more in Kano too. They're always live for the first few turns probably.
So yeah, outside of that, outside of obviously missing Dromai, I mean, I guess I guess the one thing I will say,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how much Prism you expect to see, the one hero who might benefit the most out of this, that's a rogue hero, is actually Teklovossen. Dromai was unwinnable. Like just just terrible. Just absolutely terrible. They can
Yeah,
Toml tie your armor. You have
that's right.
you
So,
have you have zero AB. If you're running AB, then your deck is terrible because you don't want to be running AB. You want to be doing like Mecropotent things. Like it's just terrible. So like,
I will admit that when I was making up sideboards for Teklavasa when I tried them out recently, I put in the Rusted Relic in my deck. It's a blue.
you could have
And
put
it's
in,
an eye.
you have the option to put in the orb, whatever it's called from Arcane Rising, the Aether Sync.
Oh, Aether Sync. The thing is, you have to A, charge that ahead of time, and then it's AB2.
Oh, it's
So it's
terrible.
like, it's terrible. No, Rusted Relic's just better because it's a blue pitch and it's just AB1. You just have to keep Kylori off it.
Yoink it.
No, I've given them maybe one. Oh my god. No,
Uh,
Tekla Vossen, I can see why that's a hard matchup if you play him kind of like what the general deck or build is right for him right now. So, no, it's terrible.
I can't get over Kyloria flying off with your rusted relic.
You got Kyloria sitting on this mountain of gold, and then in the middle of it, you just see this rusted piece of shit. Actually, it's at the top of the gold. It's there sitting above all of it, overlooking the golds,
Well, now
sitting above
well, now Kyloria is not
it.
sitting above anything. She gone, just like her mommy. Dromai's gone.
For now, for now. We'll get another one soon.
On that
Ish.
note, Ryan, what you got going on this week? We're gonna get out of here. What's going on?
I mean, apparently I have to look up what pro quests are going on so I can be sure to participate at least.
Well, I have posted
Um,
that in our Discord channel for your perusement.
Perusement. Fab
Uh,
event.
and I'm kind of on the same boat. I'm gonna be judging one. If you guys are in Florida, check
Ooh,
out the
nice.
Collective and the Haven, as well as a bunch of other stores, but those are the ones closest to me. And Layton Gaming. So, but they didn't get a pro quest, not yet. They just kind of came back to Flesh and Blood. But yeah, check out the Collective, check out the Haven. I'm gonna be judging the collectives, so that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'm
that's
looking
this week.
forward to it.
I think that's next week.
No, that's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The 28th. Yeah.
Other than that, we'll be coming out with this podcast every week,
We'll let you know how we do.
and hopefully bring in other content again. You know.
Oh, we will. We will. I'm definitely going to be, like I said, I'm serious when I say I really want to get back into Riptide again. Because, like I said, playing Max and even trying Tekla Vossen a bit was fun, but the mech game is a little too constricting to an extent because worrying about the boost mechanics. So I'm looking to try something else again.
Do you know
You
what a
know.
mech would be super fun?
Hmm.
Truly, in my opinion, is UPF. If you could just build like a fun mech, like uh, like a Dash IO build,
Hmm.
but like has all the wacky items from Bright Lights that just everyone was like, this is terrible. I'm not gonna play it. I don't know,
Yeah.
prismatic lens and
I can see them working to an extent, but you're just putting the only problem is, of course, you're just putting a bunch of zero blocks
that's
in.
where you
But
have to play the politics game. Like, I'm so weak and fragile. Don't hurt me.
yeah, I don't know. In our circles, our UPF groups, the one who likes to play the "oh woe is me" card sometimes gets is the first to go out for that reason alone. So
Because we
I
have a
guess
local player who always plays like a group hug deck and he always wins because no one wants to hit him.
all I'm saying is I hope you roll high on your charisma for that speech check.
And with that, I hope you all roll high on your charisma and all rolls this week. And I hope you guys take it easy because we're going to get out of here. And this has
Oh yeah.
been Battleworn Podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. See ya.
Peace.